Hello, everyone. I am happy that you are out there joining me today for another live stream of our yoga class. So I'm on just a few minutes early to make sure that I am there for people who are getting on, learning to get on. This is for all of my students that we're not able to be in our traditional yoga classes that we share and love, and we want to stay connected and still have yoga practice and know that we still have that connection, even though we're doing it by our YouTube live stream, which is a great thing to be able to do. So, hopefully, you are all getting yourselves ready. Get your yoga mat out if you have a yoga mat. If you're watching this live or if you're finding this online and you don't have a yoga mat, know that other than some of the standing poses where we want to make sure our feet are grounded and secure so you're stable. You can just use a towel to create a space for yourself if you want for some of our work on the floor and for our meditation. And maybe move that towel if it feels like it's sliding for you when you're standing in our standing poses. So today we're going to be focusing on how to get the best from your yoga practice. And as we talk about in class, mindfulness and taking the time to be present and feeling what your body is saying to you is the way that we are getting the most out of what we're doing. So we all know that our minds can wander, our emotions can take over and create anxiety or tension in the body. And yoga practice is training us to create mastery over the mind, over the emotions, and the ability to feel what's happening in the body so that you have that relationship with how you're feeling in the moment. So that's what makes mindfulness the um, ability to have the presence, to know what you are feeling, how to respond to that. And we respond by learning how to listen. And we learn to listen by doing our yoga practice. Okay. So we still have a few minutes before we get started. And let's just talk a little more about how we get into the process of developing mindfulness. So, mindfulness is a state of awareness of your breathing, of body awareness, um, your mind patterns. And the way that you do that is we call it witness consciousness, the ability to watch what you are thinking instead of just being in the thinking, watching how you are feeling instead of being overwhelmed by the feeling, and watching the breath as a way to interact with those other elements that make up the experience you're having. So when you are in this process of watching, you are actually developing a mindfulness, a presence that is the larger aspect of your attention. And remember, your attention is what you're really learning to develop here. And the mind is a separate tool, an aspect of you. The emotions are an aspect of you. Your physical body makes up your experience that you're also having, as well as your energy body. So, all of those elements that make up the you are actually these different aspects that the attention can really step into that wider space. You get more of a scope to watch and feel when you practice mindfulness. So, we're going to get started first today with a little bit of warm up before we come to sit for our planting our seeds of intention. And we're doing that for anyone out there who is newer to yoga, who needs to make sure that you're warming up the joints before you're coming to sitting on the floor. So, as a beginner, and in yoga, we know that you might have been doing yoga for 10 years, and the beginner's mind, the beginner's willingness to be in the moment with what you feel is ultimately advanced yoga, because it takes a sense of mastery to just be with yourself in every aspect of what you're feeling and how you're doing in the moment. That is true yoga practice. Okay. So let's start first with going to your mat and standing on your mat. I will go to my mat. Okay, so stand on your mat. We want to get started first with just doing the circle exercises that we sometimes do in our classes. And we're going to start with your right foot, bring your toes to the floor, and we're just going to make some circles with your foot. Rotating that foot and ankle, warming up. Good. Go back the other way. And let's do the other side. Left foot. Make some circles. Good. Just warming up, feeling how that foot and ankle receive that movement, move back the other way. We're getting blood flow. We have to lubricate to have flexibility in the joints. Good. Now bring your feet a little closer together. Bend your knees and hold on to your knees. And we're going to do circles here. So you're circling first one direction. Good. And then go back the other way. Circle. Nice. Okay, come up to standing. Take your feet a little wider. And we're going to make some circles with your tailbone, just like you have a pencil at the end of the tailbone, and you're going to circle, draw a circle on the floor. Circle first one direction, warming up the hips, just like doing hula hooping. And then we're going to go back the other way. Circle the hips. Good. And then we're going to fold forward from the waist, from the hips. You're going to fold forward and then start to circle the upper body and just lean back a bit and foot forward circle. And we're kind of getting into the waist and low back and hips. Good. And then go back the other way. Circle. Take some nice breaths with it. We're just still warming up. Come back to standing. Good job. Let's inhale shoulders up toward the ears. Now drop them down out through the mouth. Ha. Two more. Inhale up. Exhale. Ha. Drop the shoulders. Last one. Shrug. And now release. Ha. Good. And then circle shoulders back. Lift up and back. Up and back. Good. And then we're going to circle forward. So you're going to roll shoulders up and roll forward. Up and roll forward. One more. Good. And then when the shoulders relax, it helps the neck to relax. So we warm up the shoulders, and we're going to drop the chin toward the chest. We're lengthening the back of the neck. Lift the chin back to neutral. Bring the right ear toward the right shoulder and pull the left shoulder away from the left ear a bit. So we're getting some length on the left side of the neck. Breathe into it. Good. Come back to the center. And then we're going to drop that left ear over to the left shoulder and pull the right shoulder away from the right ear and just lengthen out the right side. Good. And then back to the center. And then we're going to lift the chin up toward the ceiling a bit. Don't drop the head back. Just open up the throat and wrap the lower lip around the upper lip. And release back down. We just stretched open the throat. That little lower lip around the upper lip stretches that front of the neck a little bit more. Good. And now we're going to do circles with the nose. Nice, wide, slow circles, just warming up the neck. Good. Nice breathing here with it. And then go back the other direction. Great. And then back to the center. And before we come to sit on the floor, let's release any tension or toxins that you might be carrying with you. I know a lot of us are stuck inside. or just around our own homes and perhaps outside. Hopefully you have weather where you can be out a little bit. But anything that you're holding on to, we're going to do our wood chopper again, that wonderful exercise just to release whatever you're holding on to. So your feet are wider, hold on to your axe by interlacing your fingers. Inhale, arms up over your head, and then chop down through the legs as you breathe out through the mouth. Ha! Let's do 3 more. Inhale, ha! Inhale, ha! 1 more, up and ha! Good. Cleansing and releasing. We can take care of ourselves. This is how you get the most out of your yoga practice. You know what you're capable of, and you know because of what you're doing. When you release those toxins, you're clearing out anything, whether it is in the physical body toxins or whether you're working with emotions or tension in the body. Our yoga practice moves in and is our vehicle for releasing, balancing, and harmonizing. So great job. Let's come onto the floor now, sitting. And remember, if you're new to sitting on the floor, you can grab a pillow or a folded blanket, something, and I'm going to turn sideways so you can see that you can sit on in a way that you sit toward the edge. And what it does is allows you to shift those hips forward a bit so that you have a support foundation to sit tall. So it just helps you to relax into the hips a little differently so that you can have a tall spine when you're sitting. Because if you're not used to sitting on the floor and your joints are tighter, without that support, some people will tend to collapse. And our goal is to sit you, okay? So we're going to sit on the floor, and you can sit with one leg out or your legs out sitting on your prop, however you need to support yourself for comfort, but with the idea in mind that you want good alignment. So sit tall, okay? And bring the fingertips to touch. Right and left hand come together at the fingertips and just rest them down at your lap. And with the tall spine, by just lifting the heart and shoulders soften, take the next few moments to set an intention for your practice now. What are you doing here on the mat? What is it that you intend to create for yourself? And this can be both in your practice and how you want to move back out of your practice into the life that you're creating. So we want that creative, mindful source with us, okay? So just closing the eyes or gently looking down at the floor, take these next few moments just to sit inward with yourself. We call this planting your seeds of intention. And in Sanskrit, that's called your sankalpa. It is your seed that you're planting. And what we do is we nurture it just by the mindful practice that we create on our mat and in our lives. So we kind of plant it, and then we go into the work, the practice of our yoga, okay? So breathe and stay inward these next few moments, feeling the breath and reflecting inward on what you intend for yourself, for your health and well-being. And then when you feel complete, gently open your eyes, knowing that that seed is planted in the heart and in the mind, so that your feelings and your thoughts are reflecting in your practice and in your life. Okay, so we are going to come into the table pose. And I have a box up here on my screen that I'm going to get rid of real quick. You guys go to your mat. Okay. And we're coming into the table on your hands and knees. We're warming up the spine, continuing that warm up. So chin and tailbone up toward the ceiling as you drop the belly. Inhale as you flex. Tuck the chin and tailbone. Pull the belly in to round the spine. Inhale, flex. Exhale, round. Good. 2 more. Breathe in, flexing the spine. Breathe out as you round. And last one. Breathe in. And then exhale. Good. Now back to a flat back. Okay. So for more of our warm up for the spine today, we're going to come onto the floor on your belly. So you're going to come onto the floor and into the Sphinx pose or baby cobra. So you're actually on your forearms, resting into your elbows and forearms, hands and arms about shoulder width apart. Good. And there's 2 things that this does. First of all, we're going to do a little bit of warm up to tone the muscles along the spine. So in yoga, we say you're only as young as your spine. So you want flexibility and strength and good blood flow all along the spine. So we're going to lift the right heel and look over the left shoulder. These are cobra kicks. Inhale as you drop the leg and come back to center. Now lift the left heel, look over the right shoulder. Then inhale back to the center. So you always inhale in the center. We're going to exhale as we look over the left shoulder, the right heel is lifted, and then inhale back to the center. Lift the left heel, look over the right shoulder. Good, back to the center. Let's do 2 more rounds. Breathe in and then exhale and turn. Inhale to the center. Exhale, turn. Inhale back to the center. Let's do it 1 more time each side. Look to the left, to the right heel's lifted. Back to the center. And then the other side. Good job. Back to the center. Now, by pressing the tops of your feet into the floor and anchoring those hips and pubic bone down, you press the lower body into the floor to anchor, and we're going to lift out through the top of the head as you press the collarbone forward. And this gives you that sense of real length and flex in the spine in a cobra, but with the support of your forearms. So you're getting nice work, nice bend, but you're not straining the back. So if you're newer at yoga, you may stay right here and get great results with getting some flexibility and strength along the spine, okay? If you're used to doing some yoga, first we're going to lower down and rest out of that. So just rest your forehead on your forearms. Take 3 nice breaths and feel your belly expand into the floor. With each inhale, breathe in, expand, feel that nice big breath in, and exhale it out. So we want to make sure that the breath is coming with us in our yoga poses. Good. And then we're going to go into our Cobra Warm Up. We're going to bring the right and left hand up on the low back, tops of the feet pressed down, and then lift up into your Cobra without arms. Now you're going to notice where your edge is. If this is your edge, then you're doing great work. Your muscles are working completely for you. Try to keep those feet planted on the floor and lift to wherever you can go and breathe. And then when you release with control, tuck the chin, the nose, and the forehead. Bring those arms all the way around and rest. Keep your forehead on the forearms, on the hands, and just breathe. Because what you're doing is giving that cobra time to still work in your body, and you're flushing the kidneys and the adrenal glands. So we really did a squeeze and a release, which is important to recover the body from stress, getting that nice purification in the kidneys and adrenal glands. Good. All right, so now the more traditional cobra. Bring your hands under the shoulders, fingers pointing forward, elbows tucked into the ribs. Forehead to the floor, anchor the feet down, and lift forehead, nose, chin, and chest. And remember where your edge was in your warm-up, and don't go much beyond that. Let your back learn the work in a way that's mindful. That's how you get the best from your yoga practice. You know your edge. You challenge the edge in a mindful way. We're going to tuck the chin and the nose and the forehead and come back down out of the pose. Once again, rest. The cobra is still working in the body. Long, deep breaths. One more round. Hands under the shoulders, tops of the feet pressing down, lift forehead, nose, chin, and chest. Find your edge. Breathe. Now look to your right, back to the center, and look over to the left, and back to the center. Lower with control. Tucking the chin, nose, and forehead. Feel the buttocks, legs, and back. And when you're ready, press back through into the table and sit back towards your heels. So this is our counter stretch. We want to always round the back after you flex the back. Good. Come back to your table in the middle of your mat. We're going to work on our upper body strengthening again and our core work. So let's take the right hand out and the left leg out and back. If you feel like you can lift that heel, you're going to take the left heel up. It's okay to leave those toes on the floor if you need them there. Find your edge. Reach out through the toes and fingers. Keep the breath steady. Find a point to focus on and do this mindful strengthening work for the bones, for the core. And then release. Good. Take some breaths. We're going to do the other side. Left hand, right leg. Lift that right heel. If it feels like a good edge for you, reach out through the toes and fingers. Breathe. Good. You're challenging that core, building bone, building balance. And then release. Back to the table. We're also going to do our side plank today. This is a half side plank. If you can do the full side plank and you want to do that, you can add that in. Right hand and knee line up. Let's take the left leg back and you're going to plant that left foot on the floor and then open that left arm up. If this is your edge, you're doing powerful work to build upper body strength and core. If you want more work, lift that left leg up. Good. And you can look straight ahead or up at the hand in the air. So you're just feeling through this to find your best edge, holding it, breathing, don't hold the breath, and release back down to the table. So we're going to do the other side. I'm going to turn around just so I can face forward and line up that left knee and hand. Step the right leg back. Open the right arm up. And you can stay right there, or you can lift that right leg up. Good. Breathing with it. The breath is how we stay mindful. We fuel the work. We stay present. We stay in the moment, in the body. Good job. And as you're ready to release, come back down into the table. Let's just rest again back toward the heels. Just take that moment to integrate that work. Good job. All right. So we're going to come up to standing now. You can take the right foot forward. Good. Curl the left toes under, lift the knee, and then step that left foot forward. And lift all the way up. Reach tall, lengthen up and out. And then bring palms together in front of the heart. Good. All right, so we've gone from that floor warm up into some nice standing now. So the body's warmed up enough to take that nice heat into lengthening all of the muscles and the spine, and to do that in a way that is what I like to call anti-gravity, right? So when we create length, we're working the opposite direction in the way that gravity compacts us. And that is what keeps us youthful, flexible, and strong. All right. So let's start with taking the feet a little wider and just shift side to side. And you don't have to go real deep into the knee. You're just kind of warming up again here now that we're in standing. Good. Nice work. Okay, so come back to the center. And we're going to go into our standing poses that we enjoy. Remember, every time that you come to your standing work is like the first time you're coming to it. And that's why, even if you've been doing this for years, it's like the first time you're coming to it, because you want to feel it now in this moment. Be curious, explore what you're feeling, breathe into it. Okay, so we're going to start with our triangle. Remember, the wider the feet, the more you're going to get stretch into the hip girdle and down in through the hamstrings. But don't feel unstable. So you find your edge. Turn your feet to the right. Right foot turns 90 degrees, the left foot 45 degrees or so. Try to bring the hips back toward the front and tuck the tailbone. Good job. Arms in a T. Now we kick out that left hip a bit, and that sets your hip girdle and hamstrings into a nice stretch, and then we're going to reach toward the right wall. And that kind of lengthens us out into our triangle, and then paddle. Now, if you are new at this, you want to keep your hand up around the knee area and extend the arm out until you know where your edge is. Because if you're trying to go deeper, but you're collapsing, then you're really not creating the length that you're supposed to in this pose. As you find your edge and you can stay lengthened out through the top of the head and move down the leg, you can move into that deeper edge, okay? So wherever your edge is at, remember ear, shoulder, and leg are lined up. Good job. So now we press into the back heel, reach through the fingers in the air, lift out through the top of the head. Breathe. Now, if you're struggling to breathe or there's some strain there, that's when you would want to back off a little more and find a nice edge to breathe and let the body relax into opening. Okay? So you're going to find that place where you can breathe with it. Now take the hand that's in the air. We're going to drop it behind you. This is also an alternate position for anybody who has shoulder issues. So you can drop that arm to the side, but we're going to take it behind. Rotate the ribs up. Good. That shoulder blade drops back a bit, so we're getting into our torso a bit more. Good. And then once you get that nice rotation, take the arm back up if that feels good for you. Into your full triangle. Breathe with it. Press into your feet, come back up to standing. We're going to bend the right knee. The knee should stay stacked right on top of the ankle. Don't go out over the toes. So find that nice right 90-degree angle in the knee, and then look out over your right fingertips. Lift the heart. Reach through the fingers. I am the warrior creating the strength and stamina to meet my goals. And we're shooting out our arrows to meet the bullseye of your intentions, the bullseye of meeting your challenges with success. Now let's dip back into dancing warrior. Left arm comes down, right arm up. Nice. Turn the right palm backwards and slide the left hand down the leg into arc warrior. Breathe into the waist. Back to the warrior pose. Good. Lower the arms. Turn to the right. Anchor into that back heel. Make sure that front knee is bent. Take the arms out or up. So you're just going to find your edge. And we lift the heart and celebrate the victory of meeting life's challenges with success. Notice if you're lifting, if your shoulders are shrugged. Drop the shoulders down, but keep the heart lifted for lengthening out the spine. Now lower the arms. Hands on the low back. We're going to straighten the front leg. Come flat back into teepee pose. Strengthening the legs. Breathe. If you want, you can come down that front leg a little more. Lift back up to standing. Bend the knee one more time. We're going to go into our humble warrior. So you're going to take that left arm, bring it around to the right leg, and look over the right shoulder. Come into a twist. Now, if you're collapsing the heart, lift the heart. You remember to stay tall in the spine. And then unwind back to the front. Good. Take some breaths here. Back in our neutral spot. And let's turn feet to the left. Good. Arms in a T. Kick out that right hip. Reach toward the left. So we're setting up the success of our triangle by taking length before we move into the triangle. That way we don't compress or collapse. We're going to lengthen out through the top of the head. Remember, if you need to be here, you're getting good work. If you can go deeper, it's because you create the length out over that leg to keep the spine tall. Nice, long, deep breaths. And you can stay with that head looking forward. You can look up at the hand, the thumb in the air. Breathe. Now take that arm behind you and rotate the ribs up toward the ceiling. Drop that right shoulder blade back a bit so you get the rotation in the chest, in the torso, and then take the arm back up into full triangle. Breathe with it. Press into your feet, come back up to standing. Bend your left knee, look out over the fingertips, lift the heart. I am the warrior, creating the strength and stamina to meet my goals. Keep the breath steady. And then dip back to dancing warrior. Good. Turn the palm backwards, arch. And then back to your warrior pose. Lower the arms, turn to the left, connect into the lower body, take those arms out or up. So you're just finding that edge, lift the heart, celebrate the victory of meeting life's challenges with success. Lower the arms, hands on the low back, straighten the front leg, teepee pose. You can go a little deeper if you want, getting that stretch for the spine and the legs. Lift back up to standing. Bend the left knee one more time. Right arm comes to the left leg. And you look over the left shoulder. Humble warrior. Good. And then unwind back to the center. So humble warrior is about surrendering the fight. That last warrior variation that we did is the peaceful warrior who knows that sometimes you have to turn it over to the higher power in order to let the fight unfold how it is for the highest good. And we certainly want to do that in our current circumstances as we have faith and trust about what is unfolding in our culture. Good job. All right. So let's come into our balancing pose for today. We're going to work with our tree. So you're going to stand into the right foot. Remember, use the whole surface of the bottom of the right foot. That is your foundation. And tuck the tailbone and stand tall as you then bring your left toes to the floor. And then you're going to bring that left foot to the inner right ankle and put your arms wherever you need them to balance for your tree pose. If that's your edge, you can keep the toes right on the floor, or you can start to work up that inner right leg. So you're just finding wherever your edge is. And you keep those arms, they could be wherever you need them to help you balance. Okay? Good job. Find a point to gaze at. It will help to steady you in your pose. When you come back to 2 feet, you lower with control and plant mindfully that left foot back into the floor, feeling the right leg relax into the support of 2 legs working together. Remember, everything that we're doing, we're patterning into the hard drive of the brain. But we certainly want to pattern a strong foundation. Okay? Let's do the other side. Right toes come to the floor. Plant into that whole left foot. Turn the foot, bring the foot to the inner left ankle. We want that knee to point out toward the right. Good. Find your edge. And your hands can be wherever you need them. So you're just finding your arms, help you find your center. Good. Now, when you release again, it is with control. Take those arms down, mindfully step into the right foot. Feel that equilibrium come back into 2 legs working together. Great job. All right, we're going to take feet a little wider now. Breath of joy. 3 sniffs in through the nose before we breathe out through the mouth. Let's do that first together. Breathe in 3 times. Out through the mouth. Let it all out. A jolt of oxygen and a release of toxins. We're always cleansing and oxygenating, right? So let's work on that together with some arm movements now. We're going to breathe in, and out. Okay? 3 rounds. Ready? In, and out. In, ha. 1 more. In, and out. Nice. All right. So let's move on to the floor now. We're going to come into lying on the floor on your back. You want to release the back of the body. So you're going to come onto the floor with your knees in towards your chest. And that's going to help to let that back relax. Thanking the back. Rock side to side. Massaging out any tension that might be there from our wonderful strong back supporting us in the standing work we did. Good. And then let's drop your feet to the floor. Nice. And we're going to just do a couple rounds of pelvic tilting. Just flatten the low back down into the floor. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now relax it. 1 more time. Flatten down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. So we're warming up that lower back. We're going to go into our bridge today. So the feet walk in toward your buttocks a little bit. You want to make sure that your knees don't go out over the toes when you press up into this pose. Arms can stay at your side the first round. You press down into your feet, press the hips up toward the ceiling. Good. Now, if your feet were too close to you, you would be like that. We're straining the knees. If your feet are too far away, you're not going to have the same foundation for lift. So find that place. Feet about hip width apart to take those hips up toward the ceiling. Good. And breathe. So you're breathing into that nice bridge. We're bringing blood flow back into the thyroid, the heart, the thymus gland. We're flexing the spine. Beautiful. Lower with control. One vertebra at a time, returning to the floor. When you ground that tailbone, feel the low back sprawl out, and then bring knees into the chest. Good. We'll do one more round. Feet planted, about hip width apart. Press those hips up toward the ceiling. Now, you can tuck the arms under you and straighten those arms out, and that opens up the chest more. Good. You can bring your arms up over your head, and that's going to shift the work in the shoulders a little bit. Breathe with it. You can keep those arms at your side if that's your better edge. You're just working to create strength in the back. We're creating openness in the front of the body. And with control now, roll back down onto the floor. Mindfulness, returning the spine to the floor, and then round the back. Good. And then we're going to rock up to sitting. Good job. All right, so now we're going to work on our sitting twist. So your legs are extended out, and you're going to take the right leg and either bring the foot alongside the straight left leg or take that right foot and cross it over the leg. Hold on to the bent knee with the left hand, sit tall. Look at your fingertips with your eyes so that you wind up the neck and the head along with the spine. Rotate to your edge. Bring that right hand to the floor and look over the right shoulder. Long, slow, deep breaths. When we breathe, as we're twisting to the right, we're massaging the liver and the gallbladder. So we get that nice purification and toning for the organs on the right. 2 more breaths. Just keep nice deep breathing here. Lifting that hand now. Wind around to the center. And then go past the center and unwind the spine. Look around to the left. Good job. And then come back to the center. We're going to do the other side. So bring that left knee up, that left foot up, bending the knee. Foot comes to the inside of the leg, or you can cross over the right leg. Hold on with the right hand, reach out with the left, wind up. Bring that left hand down close to the body so you sit tall and look over the left shoulder. So your left shoulder and all of those organs on the left side, spleen, pancreas, digestive system, are all getting that nice massage and the toning from breathing in our twist to the left. Good. Breathe another round or 2 of deep breath. Lifting the hand, wind around, back to the center, and then counter stretch all the way around to the right. Good. Back to the center. Bring your legs out, straight in front of you, point and flex. Let's do one more. Point and flex. Now with the legs flexed, we're going to walk the fingertips down to your edge. So if your hamstrings are a little tighter, then just that nice work of sitting into your seat bones, lift your heart, keep your toes flexed, and just find your edge. Once you find a comfortable stretch, the body feels safe to relax. If you try forcing, then the body goes into that fight or flight. So we want to find a stretch we can breathe with. Once you're breathing, relax the toes a little bit, soften the knees. Let the kneecaps rest. And then that may help settle in a little more to the length that we're creating, and you might find a new edge. So you're going to work into your length and breathe with it. Good. And then roll back up to sitting and shake out the legs. Good job. So now it's time for our restorative work. We're going to do just our legs up again. So you can do legs up the wall if you prefer that variation, or if you have your chair, you're going to grab a chair. So if you have a chair, you're going to put your legs on the chair, laying back on the floor. Okay, that looks like this. Inversion is how we talk to the body about beginning to integrate everything we've done and begin recovery and restoration. This is how we rejuvenate all of the systems, including the skeletal system, the circulatory system, immune system, nervous system. Long, deep breaths here. Just rest. And I'm going to go over to the wall and show you legs up the wall, so that if you don't have a chair. Now, a lot of people don't have the space for this. That's why the chair works just beautifully. But you can sit next to the wall sideways. You have to be close enough, hip to the wall, to be able to lay back, put your legs up, heels on the wall. You don't want a hamstring stretch, but you also don't want your seat right up on the wall. At the same time, you need to be close enough for the legs to be soft and resting. And then it's just long, deep breaths. Continue with your legs up on your chair or legs up the wall. Every long breath in is a more refined breath as the body receives the conversation to relax and recover. So this whole inversion is a conversation deep into all of the systems of the body. Breathe. Remember, 20 minutes of this pose is like 1 hour of deep REM sleep to the body. So if you know that you are having a lot of stress or anxiety, nurturing all of your systems into recovery is a very important practice. And you can always return to this or hold it longer. But for now, as you're ready, draw knees in toward the chest, releasing your legs from the chair or legs away from the wall, and gently nurture yourself back up to a sitting position. And once you come back up to sitting position, if the joints aren't open yet for sitting cross-legged, then honor that and support yourself in any way that feels good, but lift the heart. And we're going to turn the left palm up and the right palm down, a symbol of receiving the benefits of your work and plugging them into your own well-being. And then with the eyes closed again or gently looking down, just take these next few moments to remember your seeds of intention and breathe into those intentions now and notice how you're feeling and what qualities may be present here that you value from doing your yoga practice. And let those qualities water your seeds of intention. Great. And now bringing the palms together in front of the heart in prayer pose, honoring the peace and calm, harmony, strength, and wisdom within you. May the merit of this practice benefit your own well-being and the well-being of those around you. Peace, peace, and only peace. And gently open your eyes. Namaste. All right, so it was terrific to be with you here again today. I look forward to the next time that we're streaming live. Hopefully that'll be Friday at 10 o'clock. For any of you that want to tune in, I'm planning for a Friday 10 o'clock in the morning class. That one will be a little bit more about our energy bodies and restorative work. So we'll be doing that in an upcoming class. And I wish you all well and hope that you are staying safe and remaining faithful and blessing each other. Okay, take care.